All right, everyone, welcome back to meditation. We are still living intentionally from last week. I'm just looking where everybody's arranging themselves because I'm in Fatima's lounge in Amtata and it is full moon, which is always a very interesting energy for us weirdos and us people of magic and alchemy. But I'm in Amtata because today is Fatima's mother's birthday. And this we celebrate. This we always celebrate. It's like Christmas, you know. So after the entire festive season is over and everybody's reasons for jollying are well and truly gone and Fatima's mother has done her gadding everywhere, then she must have a whole new celebration after the new year because this is her personal new year. So we are in Amtata. Charmaine, Fatima and I, unholy threesome, in the full moon. So tonight we will be running around naked in the garden and doing all sorts of magical, weird and wonderful things. If we come home without our brooms, you will know why. It will have broken. But so here we are. And one of the things that strikes me about Fatima's mother, she's a very straightforward auntie. She doesn't put up with my nonsense or anybody else's. She gives her instructions clearly. And if you don't follow them, she gives you the same instructions repeatedly until they have been followed. And this is something that I get from people who've crossed over all the time, except Fatima's mother did that when she was here. She would give the same instruction until it got followed. So there was no changing the subject or going around it or pretending she hadn't said it. You know, she was stubborn like that. And in spirit, it's exactly the same thing. They will say the same thing over and over and over again until you get it, or you give them some indication that you have gotten it. And today they're reminding me that life is like that. That when you live in unawareness or unmindfulness, then life is equally stubborn, equally repetitive until you get it. And then when you've gotten it, life will come around and check that you got it, that you got it right, that you got it as right as you can, not in terms of the doing, but in terms of the becoming, in terms of the being, in terms of the moving closer and closer to the spiritual actuality of something. And the spiritual actuality of something is an intangible knowing inside of you that has got absolutely nothing to do with doing. That is, in fact, completely unrelated to the doing. We who focus so much on the doing intentionally and having a vision inside that must then manifest clearly outside, forget that the inner vision must be fulfilled without due consideration or regard for the outer vision. The outer vision becomes accomplished. That out-based system of thinking or rewarding system of thinking or even punishment system of thinking becomes manifest anyway when the inner vision gels, when the inner vision settles into your being, and then the repetitive stubbornness of the universe clears like a fog that is dissipating, and the light that is you shines more clearly. The lighthouse that is you shines more clearly and allows everything outside of you to navigate easily to you or away from you, depending on the direction you have focused it into. So let me say that again, because it's an important part about living intentionally. When the inner vision gels into your being, when it becomes something, it coalesces into a knowing, and you have realized, meaning you have a deep and abiding feeling about that vision inside of you, then exactly like a lighthouse, the fog outside of you begins to clear. Your light radiates outward. It then refocuses the direction and provides guidance for that which is in your orbit to move towards you or away from you based on that inner vision. So the lighthouse can flash in a specific way or send out a specific frequency to turn a ship around and send it into deeper international waters towards a horizon that has got nothing to do with you, if that is what the inner vision says. This inner vision is interesting, though, because the inner vision is so often focused on an external wanting or desiring and has got absolutely nothing to do with the realization of a spiritual actuality. The spiritual actuality of the vision of becoming something, the vision of experiencing something so fully that you have cleansed it through all of your being, in your cellular level and in your DNA and in your auric field, everywhere. And one of the things that we really have been told in the spiritual pathway, in the secrets to manifestation pathway, to the self-development pathway, the whole Western world has sold us the idea of being grateful. And yesterday, when I was chatting with Fatima's father, he reminded me of something which very often comes through from people on the other side. That when you are without a body, and therefore without an ego, you become the feeling, or the feeling that is you. Any feeling that you are having, you can't just have a feeling. You are the feeling, and that feeling becomes you. That's the feeling that radiates outward. So here on the physical plane, we have been taught to be grateful. And yesterday when Fatima's father was saying to me, he is so grateful for his life. He is so grateful for this woman whose birthday we are celebrating today. That he is so grateful for this child who was her mother's keeper. And her mother's pride and joy. He became that gratitude. Now, I have never seen Fatima's father in anything other than a suit and a red tie since he died years ago. I don't even remember how many. But yesterday, when he is feeling this gratitude, and he is giving me that feeling of gratitude, he is dressed exactly like a Muslim man ought to be in an act of prayer. And he shows me this connection, this very divine connection between being appreciation and therefore becoming the frequency, the form of that. And that is how he presents from the other side. On this side, where we are not so lucky, where we are over-identifying with the gross physical body, our forms and frequencies are not so easily available to us. We change our clothes with complete awareness, stand in front of a mirror, put things on, make sure that they're fitting properly, that we have the right size, etc. But we don't put our feelings on in the same way. And yet we do. Our spiritual bodies do that. Our auric fields do that. Exactly like a lighthouse with the fog clearing around it. When we put on a specific feeling that is high vibrational, that invites us to our higher selves, our auric fields change. They become those things that are in the divine presence. They become a form and a frequency that the divine recognizes as being at one with itself. In exactly the same way, we say to people that the beauty of a soul can be seen in our eyes, that we get good vibes and bad vibes from people, that you can see the beauty of a person in their behaviors, and when you get up close to them, there are some people that you can reach out and hug, and some people that you step away from. And all of this is because the form and the frequency of our auric fields, our energy body, is shifting all the time in accordance with our thinking, with our feeling, with our emoting. So if you stop for a second and you think that with every thought, and therefore every emotion, and the feeling that goes with that, that comes before it and that comes after it, you are in fact putting on an outfit. You are putting on a look that tells the world who you are. We would stop more often to check what we're thinking, what emotion we are demonstrating and showing and reflecting into the world. For those of us who are so engaged with seeing what other people think, we would stop to ask ourselves, what are they seeing now? If everyone can see what you are feeling and what you are thinking in your auric field, which very often I can see because auric fields are changing all the time, and when my clients are saying, no, that's not true, I go, why are you lying? Let us substantiate. Because their auric fields are agreeing with what I'm saying while their egos are saying, no, that's not true. So imagine for a moment that your auric field can be seen by everyone. When you are in a state of meditation, what outfit would you be wearing? When you are going shopping, which we did a lot of today, what outfit would you be wearing? When you are laughing out loud at somebody's joke, what outfit would you be wearing? When you are in grief that comes from your ego and your attachment and your unforgiveness, what outfit are you wearing? When you are in grief that comes from your love and your caring and the depth of an emotional inclusion in your life, what outfit are you wearing? If everything you are thinking and saying and doing becomes an outfit that the world recognizes easily, then how many outfits are you changing over and over and over again in the day? And how often are you wearing the same outfit but putting an umbrella over it, or a raincoat over it, or just throwing a shawl over it, or accessorizing it with a lie, so that really what other people see may shift slightly, but it's the same outfit? Maybe it's the same bitterness or the same cynicism. Maybe it's the same loneliness. Maybe it's the same coldness. Maybe it's the same uncaring or the same compassion or the same kindness. Whatever it is that is sitting at the heart of your being, informing what you're wearing, it becomes like a uniform that you wear every day. So in living intentionally, we must stop and ask ourselves, if the world, if everyone outside of me, and really they should be able to because they are born able to, can see me as I am, can see my spirit being, can see my auric fields, can see my chakras, can see my thoughts and feelings reflected in who I am being right now, what would they see? And then would you be ashamed to step out of your house? Then would you have to put a box around you to hide who you are? Would you have to put mirrors around you so that nobody can see you clearly? And then maybe we have all done that anyway. Maybe we have all put on facades and masks and hidden ourselves because we know that that outfit is not changing as often as it should, that it is stale and tired and limp, or that this outfit is not for public consumption, that it is too revealing, that it is too much who we are and not enough of what we think the world should see or what we want the world to think, the impression we want to create. But if you stop and you consider all of that in any given day, how many of us are wearing different outfits all the time? And of course, like everybody, there would be foundation wear. Some of us would have corsets and tangas. Some of us would have full underwear from top to bottom, covering us from our necks to our ankles. All of these layers of different things that we are wearing, different ways of remaining unrevealed. And yet a spirit, whether we have a body or not, we are completely revealed. When I say to the god dogs at home, I see you, I see you. I see your physical body and I see your auric field. And I see that thought that says, I want to do that. And I'm telling you in advance, don't even think it. Don't even try it. And I learned that phrase from my guide saying, we see you. Oh, I see you. And in a sense, it is a warning. Stop now. Don't put on that set of clothes. Don't put on that form and frequency. It is unbecoming of you. Stop now. I see you. It's like Shirdi Baba going, chor. And these are the little reminders that we need in that moment of choosing who to be, what to be, where to come from, and therefore how to act, what to do with ourselves. What is that form? What is that outer wear that we have in our auric fields that is determining the look and the being of us, regardless of what we are doing? This feeling of gratitude is a beautiful thing. It has been so commercialized. We are practicing gratitude. I remember years ago, everybody in the center was writing 365 reasons for why they are grateful in their lives. I did it, and it was wonderful. It was a fabulous exercise. And now I am unreasonably grateful. And I am grateful regardless of whether there is reason to be grateful or not. This is how unreasonably grateful I am. I have learned to be grateful, even when there is nothing that I can see or think or feel, identify, anchor gratitude to. I am grateful when things are going drastically wrong, in the knowing that they're actually going perfectly right. I am grateful when the world is topsy-turvy, because then I know it is shifting, it is fluctuating, it is flowing. I am grateful for the untangible, the intangible, the unseen, the unknowable, the unpredictable, because this reminds me that this illusion that I called life is an evolving, fluctuating, fabulous, abundant gift, and that all I am required to do really is observe it and live it as gratefully, as intentionally, as is possible in that moment. And sometimes I am grateful for nothing, unreasonably grateful for nothing. The achievement of nothing has been a lifetime's work, half a century to be exact. And when I find that nothing and I am sitting in that nothing, I am so grateful for it. And I am so grateful that it is attached to nothing, that it speaks to nothing and it speaks from nothing, that it just is. And I like to imagine that then any form and frequency that my soul may put on has dissipated. That then there is no form and frequency. That then there is no outfit. Then there is nothing that separates me from all the abundance of the universe that is God. And maybe that is the most enlightened form of gratitude. Certainly it becomes a prayer. It becomes an understanding that I am listening, that I am being present, that everything that is flowing in the universe is flowing in harmony with me, and that I feel it. This reminder to celebrate life, to be grateful for it, to be so thankful for it that you wake up every day knowing that it is in fact yours, your life. It cannot possibly be anybody else's. It is connected to everybody else's and everything in creation, but it can never belong to anyone else. It is not only the structure of your body and your breathing that makes it yours. Your soul blueprint in the universe makes it uniquely yours. Your thumbprint in the universe makes you uniquely you. Your connectedness with God is uniquely yours. If you hug a tree and you feel it hugging you back, that is your connectedness with God, uniquely yours. Every experience that is unfolding is uniquely yours. And our challenge in relationship, in friendship, in partnership, even in devotion to God, is to get past all of the perceived barriers and boundaries and to feel the divinity of each other as one. Ego makes that difficult. Survival makes that difficult. Gratitude, true appreciation, makes it easier, less complicated. So I don't really know what to meditate on today. I want to be grateful for everything. I want to feel my gratitude for everything. And yet my mind is cluttered. My mind says there are so many things that need to change. So many things that we are in despair and anxiety about. So many things that I, the soul, cannot bear. And I am reminded that I am grateful for that too. That the things I think my soul cannot bear are exactly the things I desire the most, are exactly the things I want to reach into and seek into and experience fully, so that I lighten it up. And that when I lighten it up, everybody, including I, the soul, will feel it and know it clearly. How can I not be grateful for that darkness that invites me to be its light? That absence that invites me to be a presence in it. And the universe is nothing but a grand invitation to us all. And perhaps that is all we need to be grateful for. I think it's been a while since we've had a gratitude meditation. And after the roller coaster year of 2016, we might need to remind ourselves to be grateful for those things. And even if we don't need the reminder, it is so easy to get caught up in life. It is so easy to forget that we must be grateful for who we are, for what we're capable of, for where we're not yet knowing we're going. That's a very bad sentence. But we must be grateful that we don't know where we're going, or even how we're going to get there. Because we are the people who like adventure. We are the spirits who want to see the world more clearly. We want to travel further. We want to have journeys. We want to explore and experiment. Why else would we have such topsy-turvy, interesting lives? So having created it that way, and having required an invitation to a specific type of party in this lifetime, then best we go to the party and dance all night. Best we lighten up. Best we laugh out loud. Best we embrace everything as the gift that it truly is, even in the despair. And if we don't, then we will allow life to steal from us. And life is nothing more than death unrealized. Life is nothing more than the side of letting go of your physical body. And when you let go of your physical body, and you cannot hide anything anymore, and you cannot dance in it anymore, and you cannot feed it with all of those wonderful decadent brownies, then you will wish you had it again. Which explains why you're here in the first place. You're wishing that you had it again, and that you had to do it all over again, is why you're here to begin with. So this time, let us do it well. If there is anything worth doing, it is worth doing well. And in the full moon particularly, where all of the tides may move into a fullness of being, it is time to do it well.